So, conclusion that I have come to is, if any action is done with too much of even positive ego, also will trigger off negative vibrations, and that will definitely affect the listener or the listeners. So, proof of the pudding or acid test is the problem lies with me or my ego, thinking that I am too good or becoming good will be creating definitely negative vibrations, not only around me and my environment, but also miles and miles away over fear to the person who is listening or listening to me. So, as it is said in all our scriptures of all the religions, in the first instance, just listen and be silent, because other person will be clear that it is your experience, or second person only sharing his own experiences. Next, if asked the opinion, and then be clear to tell that this is only your or my opinion, which need not be accepted or followed by the listener or listeners, because I am not blaming others externally at the conscious mind level, but internally or at subconscious level, because maybe I am not liking some persons or blaming them internally. So this hypocrisy of myself, thinking that I am or have become perfect, is the attitude which is not liked by my spouse or better half, because my better half might be under that impression that what happened to my husband all of a sudden, how he has become so good, and is not blaming anybody and even me. Naturally, it will be a shock and unacceptable to my better half or spouse, since this is not my true nature. This is the real problem. Next comes hypocrisy, that I am not blaming anybody. Next in line, hypocrisy that I am a very good person or too good a person. Hypocrisy that I have become a good and perfect person. Because of the above and because of the ego or ahamkara that I have read in lot of spiritual and philosophical books, and with a wrong notion that I am following what all said in scriptures and trying to follow them in day-to-day life, what is prescribed in scriptures. My ego, intensity or degree of ego, scaled to the peaks and summits, which is a very, very, very dangerous sign, which will lead to catastrophe of an individual person because of his bloated macro ego from micro ego. Having seen the conclusion, now let us go to the steps involved in ego. First, identify the negative elements of your micro ego, which is deeply hidden in one's own subconsciousness, individual body, mind and intellect. Try to receive it and correct it. The moment we think I am a very good person or you are a very good person, naturally even this positive ego will create a problem and will lead to catastrophe and misery. The very nature of ego or ahamkara, as said in all the scriptures, of self introspection. Try to analyze how I am, what's my ego, what's the nature of my anger, jealousy, greed, blaming others, all such negative tendencies will be kept in check. This exercise should be developed continuously every day from the beginning of our life till the last breath of our life. The next step will be, here again, we must be very, very careful in not to get a prey or succumb to the monstrous macro ego. It is never a process of stopping. It's a continuous and continual process with the awareness to keep the micro and macro ego to be in check. Now, let us go into the micro ego aspect. This will not be even known to the conscious mind, or sometimes even to the subconscious or unconscious mind. So, it's a sadhana, or it's a continuous practice or a dynamic practice. Periodically cleaning is required in a continuous way. All these things are my negative oriented activities created in my micro ego, and then in the mental level it will blow up one day into your macro ego, which will cause a catastrophe. My duty or your duty is over once to do this cleaning. Every individual will try to do this cleaning twice a day. That is, as soon as we get up in the morning, let us pray that I should be aware of my micro and macro ego. And again, when we go to bed also, we should reflect in our mind how many times I got trapped into the micro and macro ego, because of which I spoiled the relationship, I spoiled my activities, I got sorrowful, I got misery, and even in the home there is a lot of problems that I have created with my micro and macro ego. Now, as we have seen the negative tendencies of both micro and macro ego, let us see how some of the examples are given in our scriptures. There is a story of the ego of Narada and how Narayana or Lord Vishnu has corrected Narada to realize his own ego and fallen into the trap of ego of Maya. What it goes to a short bit of story is, once Narayana asked Narada, who is the greatest and the best bhakta? And Narada laughed and said, who else can be Narayana? It is myself. I am always, without a moment, I am thinking about you, Narayana, and chanting your name. Oh, is it so? Then let us put a test. Then he asked to go and observe in the world. Narayana went on to observe Narada. Narada came back and said, oh, this fellow is only chanting Narayana at the time of the bed, and then he goes to bed. How can you call that he is the greatest bhakta? Then Narayana laughed. Oh, okay, that's good. I consider you as the greatest bhakta, as you said, but I will give you a small test. He gave a small vessel, small cup, wherein he filled with the oil, the full cup, and asked Narada to take this cup, go around the world once without spilling a drop of oil. Oh, Narada said, oh, okay, I will do it. Then he took this small vessel or the cup which is containing full of oil. He went round very, very carefully without dropping a bit of oil. He came back and he said, without his consciousness, with the micro and macro ego, to Narayana, see, Narayana, I have done this exercise. Good job, Narada, Narayana told. But the moment when you are doing that, going round the world, how many times you thought of my name and you chanted my name? Then Narada laughed and said, are you making fun of me? This is the greatest task. How can I chant your name? Then I will lose concentration and the oil may drop and fall down. I don't want to be a failure in the test you have given. I never thought about your name, not even once. Then Narayana said, see, this is what I said, never be egoistic, thinking that you are the greatest bhakta or a jnani or knowledgeful of bhakti, etc., etc. You see that Grihastha, he has done after lot of hard work every day. Then in the evening, he got so tired, but at least at that time, he fully concentrated and chanted my name, because other times he has to do his swadharma or self-duty, his own duty, which is important for his family. So never be egoistic, Narada. Be always humble and be at my feet, and don't make fun of any Grihastha who is having so many responsibilities and problems in his day-to-day life. Then Narada apologized to Narayana and fell on his feet and surrendered to him. This is the greatest lesson that every one of us should learn. All the people in the Grihastha state have lot of day-to-day duties and activities. It is not only positive or also on the negative side of the ego, but also positive of ego is also a big trap. There is another beautiful sloka to be remembered after doing all these works on ego, micro and macro ego.